Hey Jordan, this is just as a part of your response earlier asking me what businesses would be best for this since you don't work with typically real estate agencies or car dealerships. I forgot to also show you in my last video how to qualify a customer to find out if they're actually going to be a company that would end up taking on a contract like this. These contracts are really big. I mean, they're very juicy. You're talking elephants. You know, a lot of the times people are out hunting rabbits or deer. That's great, especially if you can do it in extremely high volume. But with this kind of a deal, this is a low volume, high price, high pressure, hardcore. I shouldn't say it's high pressure, I should say high stakes to get a deal done like this, but the payouts are really high, as you saw in my last video. So if you want to know if a client is good, what you can do is you can plug them into two websites. You need to do both of them. So ADT would be, I mentioned alarm companies in in my most recent email that I'm attaching this on as another good candidate because they make a pretty decent profit on each one of these deals. They, have their equipment costs, which are very low. They usually work with a lot of third-party contractors like sales teams. So ADT would be a good example of this. Working with smaller teams that aren't like if you worked with ADT directly as a company, then that's who you'd want to work with. But you don't want to work with some like small broker that just does door to door. Is like a door to door company isn't usually paying a ton of money in advertising unless you're Vivint. Vivint is doing a ton of online work. So other than major brands, right? So ADT right here, we can see that in this last month here on a website called semrush.com. I put in adt.com, their URL. And what it does here is it breaks down their web traffic. So last month, they had 584,459 people visit their site organically. So those are people who just searched alarm companies and came across it. 78,149 of those people were people who were clicking on ads that made it back to ADT's website. So they were paid for that advertising. They paid for that person to make it to that website. Now, you also want to plug their URL into keywordspy.com because this will also break down what their daily ad spend is. So their daily ad budget's approximately $1,100. That's about what it's capped at right now. They have a ton of competitors in this space. They're ranked number one in these following keywords. So if someone typed in ADT home alarm, they're going to be number one out of the 10 listings on Google. ADT location, alarms, ADT home security, ADT, they're obviously all ranked number one for, right? And this is what some of their ads look like. And so our goal with these leads is to have them start getting surrounded by ads like this. Okay. And here are some of their major competitors right now. Buyer Zone, Security Choice, these are their biggest competitors. And you can also see what current ads they're running right now. See, that's one of them right there. Here's a series of those ads. They launched this campaign July 27th. Their cost per click, so for somebody to click on their advertisement, costs them about 12 bucks. So they're spending quite a bit of money on this. I mean, it's not as high as like a personal injury attorney who, their cost per clicks are usually about $100, so pretty high. But they're definitely paying heavy money for their advertising because they know they're going to be super lucrative for them. So they have huge web traffic. That's a great space. I mean, we don't need anywhere near that size of web traffic. Usually we're looking for, like I said in my email, about 3,000 and up. But some companies, if it's a really well-developed space like the ones I listed, we already have so much online behavior curated that we don't need you to hit the 600,000 range. But a company like this, we'd end up charging them most likely with their ad budget spend. We'd probably try to charge them right around, I don't know, 20 grand a month on that. So you'd end up making like 2K a month on that deal if you referred it to us on that deal alone. If you're on deal number 4 that you referred to us, rather than 2,000 a month, you'd make 4,000 a month on that deal for the rest of the year. And so that's definitely like a 20,000 plus dollar deal, if not more. I mean, I could see it easily being in the 50, $60,000 a month range just to set it up for specific offices. But like I said, on a minimum, it's going to be a 20 grand a month contract. So they're looking at paying about $240,000 a year for this. It's not a small sale by any stretch of the measure. You book the appointment with the correct decision maker, usually a director of marketing, or even finding out who their marketing team is that's handling their online SEO, SEM, and PPC campaigns. If you can identify who those people are, you get that meeting set up and we close the deal, then we split the commission on the deal. You get 10%, I get 10%. You get the 10% for just setting the appointment. I get the 10% for closing the deal and servicing the contract for the rest of the year, making sure that they're a happy customer. And if you're saying, hey man, I'm loving this, I'm crushing it, I want to be doing this all the time, then we bump it up to 20%. I just get like a 3 or 4% override on whatever production you crank out. So, I'm here to help you every step of the way on it. I'm not saying you leave what you're currently doing by any stretch of the measure. Obviously, trust isn't given, it's earned. So if it, something that you're able to make some good money on. It's always something that you can keep as an option if you want to double down on your commission structure. So just thought I'd put this together for you really quick. Have an awesome Saturday night and have a great weekend, and let's catch up sometime next week. Thanks.